Hi, everybody. This is Steve Maggi from SMA Law Firm. Welcome to Building the Bridge. My guest today is Ann Wolfson, business and tech lawyer in New York. Thanks for joining us, Ann.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
So I'm an entrepreneur overseas and I'm thinking of launching US operations. What preliminary steps can I take from home?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. And that's the best way to do it. So first of all, I really endorse doing that. Um, I think the best things to do are to try, well, the obvious steps are to go to your government's trade ministry and see what programs they have to help people launch. Um, Also go to the US consulate or the US embassy, depending on the size of your country. Go to the commercial affairs division, and they may have resources that can help you at least connect you to people who can help you with this. Um, if there is, if there are chambers of commerce, bilateral chambers of commerce, I would really recommend talking to people there to see if they can connect you to people in the US who know your industry, know the process of launching, understand what you're doing, may have regional perspectives. Many of these groups have relationships with, or organizations have relationships with companies, consulting firms, lawyers, other professionals who understand how to launch in the US. And many of them will talk to you for free as you figure this out. I actually do that. I don't like to take on new clients until I'm certain that it's a good fit and I can help them. And as a result, what that usually means is when I get a referral or when someone comes across my website and they contact me, um, I usually spend, a good hour, hour and a half, usually video chatting. There's been some preliminary emailing in advance, and I try to help them figure out how they should proceed. And I'm not always the right person for them to work with, but I'm happy to talk to them and help them figure out really what the immediate term and short term and medium and long term steps are for them, depending on the path they choose. Uh, there's a great deal that you can do from home. You can do a lot of, and that's the wonderful thing about the internet. When I first started doing this, there was not nearly this kind of information available at your fingertips. It just took a lot longer to do these things. And you generally had to hire very high priced consultants, and they often didn't give you the right answer. You can do your research yourself. So I would say, just to repeat, go to government agencies, both your home country and US agencies. Look for bilateral chambers of commerce, look for trade groups, which I didn't say before, but that's actually important. Um, See who in your country has actually launched. In smaller countries, I found very, highly technically advanced, but very small countries, there tend to be different communities at home where people can sort of go through the network and figure out who's done this, who have they worked with, what were the steps they took, etc. And so a lot of it is sort of general networking in some ways, sort of information gathering and networking that you can do online or through home country resources. And
I think, yeah, one thing I would add to that is I think because of technology now, you can even access events sponsored by bilateral chambers of commerce in the US, where you have a lot of success stories and successful companies from your country that you can also get in touch with or you can learn from that may have shifted operations or launched brand new operations in the US. So they may not be in your home country, but you can access them through technology and through those chambers of commerce in the US as well.
that's absolutely right. I hadn't even thought about that. Yes, the growth of these kinds of virtual programs has made that accessing people like that much easier than it used to be. Yeah.
How does this play into the prevention and planning that we always preach to these companies and entrepreneurs overseas?
This is a big part of the planning, actually. And the planning usually promotes prevention. So, you plan by by collecting this information and then finding the right people to work with, making sure that the right fit, that there's a good personal fit between you, that you can work well together, that you've got someone who's really listening to you and really understands what your goals are. And that's a big part of the planning that you and I have discussed throughout our work together. That, it's not like you sit there and you develop a step-by-step roadmap. There are people who will do that for you. A lot of the planning has to do with figuring out, what do you need to do? Who do you need to talk to? Who do you need to work with? What steps do you have to take to get to your eventual goal? And I think the thing is that those steps are going to change as your business develops or as conditions change. You know, I have seen people have to make new plans very quickly because of changing conditions in the US, or maybe the growth of, you know, I have one client who was not planning on doing anything with an influencer, and then was discovered by an influencer, and the influencer completely changed their marketing plans. So, and that just cut out a whole big piece of things that we were talking about doing. They didn't need to do it anymore because this influencer had, you know, millions of followers. So I think, you know, you need to have a basic plan. You need to know what your goal is. You need to keep your eye on the goal. And, you know, people plan and they have to change plans. So, but you want to make sure you're thinking carefully about what you're doing, and you're taking in new information as conditions change.
So assuming someone has taken some of those preliminary steps and they're ready to talk turkey, as we say, and set up their US operation, how do they get in touch with you, Ann?
Email's best, ANNEWOLFSON.com.
Great. Thanks for your time and your knowledge today, Ann.
Thank you.